Hello, everyone. I'm Metroid Crime, real name Marissa, for those of you who don't know. And I'm here today on behalf of No Glitches Allowed. If you haven't tuned in so far to this event, No Holidays Allowed is a speedrunning charity marathon in which gamers come together to raise funds for good causes, like this one, Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, located in Norfolk, Virginia. With me today, I have Georgia Obenaus, the founder of Go Rescue. How are you doing today, Georgia?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. And we also have, I believe, Misha over there.
Misha, She's
Looking
falling asleep, but
adorable.
she's hanging with us.
Absolutely adorable. I'm super excited to talk to you today about your organization. So for Georgia, for anyone who doesn't already know, could you tell us about Go Rescue and its mission?
Well, I started it in 2011 when, with the downturn of the economy, we lost our home and I was doing rescue. And for a rescuer, having the dogs go to a shelter is just not an option. So I signed a lease on a garage portion of an old building, thinking, well, I've got 3 weeks before the landlord figures out that I'm not good for the rest of the 2-year lease that I signed. And that's how Go Rescue was born. And we became state approved, we became nonprofit, we've moved a couple times. Moved into this facility in 2018, and we're getting ready to upgrade and move again. We're really excited about that.
Amazing. That's super cool to hear. What are
Made it through
the
COVID.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna say that is a feat in itself.
Barely, just barely.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of which, what are some challenges that you and your organization face on a day-to-day basis?
Well, every rescue faces the same challenges: lack of financial support, lack of volunteerism, and you have to figure out how to have supplies and how to have money for vetting. And there's always vetting care that you don't count on. I've
Yes.
taken in dogs before that seem perfectly healthy, and by the end of the day, they're at the emergency vet and they have bladder stones or
Goodness.
something. So you always have to account for the unaccounted.
Definitely. I guess speaking of that, like how many dogs has your organization rescued since you were founded? Roughly, you don't have
Roughly
to be exact.
about, yeah, I don't know. I remember getting to where it was 100, and now it's been
Yeah.
about 2,500,
Wow, that's amazing.
give or take, probably give. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just one at a time, just one dog at a time, and here we are, 2,500 dogs later, and this is one of them.
Oh my goodness. How
Yeah.
many dogs do you house at your shelter at any given time, roughly?
Usually we have about maybe 20, 25 at a time.
Got it.
And I've done rescue every which way. I've done it in my home. I've had the big facility with 50 dogs. The good part of that is you have 50. Bad part of that is they're kind of lined up like prisoners because you have to have room for 50. We've done it here
Yeah.
where I thought you could have the home-like environment, and now I'm actually going to a home environment. I'm buying a house myself and moving the rescue to my property so I can take care of the dogs in the manner that I see fit. I take a lot of
Yeah.
dogs who either, like this one, she's used to being in a home. If you take her and you put her in a metal box at animal control, she's going to be terrified, she's going to bite, and she's going to be deemed unadoptable. And she's not. She's a little attitudey, but she's not unadoptable. And we had a pit bull that just got adopted a couple days ago who's been here for a year. She had been abused, not trusting of human beings at all. She didn't care who you were, not used to being inside a house or a building or used to TVs or vacuums or beds or toys or anything. So I worked with her for a year, and she just got adopted a couple of days ago. And the man said the first thing she did when she went into his house is she ran and jumped on his bed, and because she knew what it was.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So
That's really, really
it's
cool.
important for the types of dogs that I take. I take a lot of fearful dogs and a lot of dogs that are just not accustomed to being part of a family, and you have to acclimate them to that.
Yeah, definitely. In general, how long do dogs stay in your care for? I guess it'll obviously depend on, the
Yeah,
situation, right?
some come in and out the same day if they come in fully vetted, and some of them. I've had one named Willie for 12 years. He's been to every facility we've
Wow.
had. Well, this is the thing. He got adopted for 4 months and brought back. He's about 14 pounds. He's blind and he's as feral as it gets. It's like going out there and trying to catch a squirrel. Not even a
Goodness.
squirrel that's used to people, but
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
and we picked him up and pet him and loved on him for about 5 years. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, he's not enjoying it. He doesn't like being touched. And I
Yeah.
started to notice he doesn't like the sensation of being touched. He trusts us, but he doesn't like being touched, even by the other dogs or if a leaf falls on him or anything. So I
Yeah.
realized with him, and I've never seen this in a dog before, but I've seen it since, he's very touch sensitive and he doesn't enjoy it. So he's just been living his best life with us, and he runs out with his friends and he has the no touch rule,
Hmm.
runs back in, and he's living life on his terms. And he's going to move with us to the next facility too.
That's amazing. That's really
But
cool.
we've had quite a few come in that never got adopted and stayed here their whole lives,
Yeah.
because we give them that home. The idea is not to be a sanctuary, but we are for the dogs that are not adoptable.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna throw them aside just because they don't get adopted.
No.
So they get to
Yeah.
stay here and have a good life for whatever time they have.
Yeah. All dogs need love.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it's such an important job what you do. What is your day-to-day like duties kind of look like? What kind of would a day look like for you at the shelter?
Well, right now it's letting the dogs out
Hmm.
and kind of like what you might do at home, only a lot more, like times 20.
Yes.
And let them out, make sure they eat, make sure they're comfortable, their place is clean, put them back in, rotate them, and then let them out in their play groups. It's important that they
Yeah.
get out, they become social, they have their playtime outside. Then they get to come in and get on our little toddler beds that we have and our couches, and just
Yeah.
even just to sit in the room with the TV on, just to have a normal environment is important for them.
So it sounds like they have like their own like cliques, like groups
They
that they hang
do.
out in. Yeah, yeah.
They do. This one doesn't like anybody. She's in with two other chihuahuas, but she's not nice to them.
Oh.
She's a bully. Yeah, yeah. And then my evening looks just like my morning. And then I have to run the shelter, like the office in between, do all of
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah. If let's say if someone wanted to volunteer, or if someone's local to you in Virginia, what are you looking for in a volunteer, and how can someone get involved?
well, I had a lady who just asked me what she could do. And I
Hmm.
said, well, if you can get involved in a fundraiser. So she went to one of the breweries
Oh,
and was included in one of the fundraisers. So they let her sit there at a table and have sellable items and, get the word out of who we are and what we're doing. So, I mean, that was important because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and there's all kinds of ways you can volunteer. I had a man who bought dog food and his dog didn't like it, so he donated it. So that's dog
Hmm.
food we didn't have to buy. And there's a
Yeah.
man who makes pens, like ink pens, and they're beautiful wooden ink pens, and he made them all differently. And I'm going to auction them off soon. And one thing we have to worry about all the time is those unexpected vet bills. So once you
Definitely.
take possession of a dog, no matter what happens, you're responsible for it. So we're always looking for ways to make sure that account has something in it, because usually it doesn't.
Yeah.
We take
Yeah.
furniture donations and sell furniture on the marketplace.
Hmm.
So there's all kinds of things
Yeah,
that
I
we
was
do. Somebody
wondering.
just coming
Yeah.
in to bathe the dogs, or I had a trainer come in and spend time with the
Oh.
dogs, and that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. So it sounds like I mean, obviously we don't have to be local to help out because we're running this event right now.
Yes. You
And
guys have been helping out for 5 years.
yeah, yeah, we've been helping out since 2018, which has been
Yes.
super awesome. We've
Yes.
raised around $29,000 for the organization, including this
Yes.
event.
Yes.
How has No Glitches Allowed impacted your organization throughout the years?
Well, it allows us to keep going.
Hmm.
So, yeah, like I said, we have the facility here. and we gotta keep it open. And during COVID, it was really difficult. I was flipping furniture to keep the lights and water on because
Mm,
just nothing was coming in. Everybody was hurting themselves.
definitely,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so all of the resources that we had dried up. So in fact, I contacted you guys because Paul had said, if anything ever happens and you need help, contact
Yeah.
me. So I never thought I would have to do that, but I contacted him. I was like, look, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that was very helpful. And like I said, just every dog that we take in has to be vetted. And 9 times out of 10, they're not previously vetted. So
Yeah.
we can't adopt them out until they've had everything done.
Hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes they'll
It's
come in and they'll need a dental that we didn't expect or something like that.
definitely, yeah.
So there's always something. It's like having
Yeah.
20 children.
It's a lot
It
to take
is.
care of, lot to take into account,
Yes.
definitely. But yeah,
Yes.
we'd love to see that even like, the small community that we are can make a difference for a small organization like yourselves. And that's really, really cool. Everyone's donations really, really help Go Rescue. Um, and yeah, it's really, really awesome. Speaking of supplies and helping out, you had mentioned that you accept furniture, dog food, and stuff. What kind of supplies are you looking for, and what is kind of like the most useful supply that people normally wouldn't think about donating that would be helpful for you?
Um, well, dog food, but they think about that, and it doesn't matter
Hmm.
what kind. It does because we have dogs
Yeah.
that you can't switch, and certain foods will give them stomach upset, and you don't want that times 20.
Hmm.
But the things that they don't think about are things like the things that they could donate to sell to turn to vet money. They don't think
Hmm.
about those, or paper towels, or bleach, or a laundry detergent, things like that. I had somebody donate. It was a voucher for a weekend at a hotel, and I auctioned it
Oh,
off. And
yeah,
just
yeah.
random things, anything that you can sell, um, is helpful. But then also the things that we use every day, like the paper towels, like the bleach,
Yeah.
mop heads, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I tell
Um,
people if they want to help an organization, call them and ask what they need because it's usually the
definitely.
unfun things that we do need. Yeah, yeah, it's all
Yeah.
that.
And you have a website so people can get in contact with you there as well. I believe you have your phone numbers and everything listed on
I do
there.
have the website. I have the website and Facebook and Instagram, but my phone number is the best way because it's just me. So
Yes.
if I get 300 messages in a day, I can't even get back to everybody.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if
I
you
know that's a
text
lot.
me, and I don't tell everybody that, but if you text me, I will see it. That's the key, the
Yeah,
secret.
yeah. Let's say someone wanted to go about adopting a dog. What does the process look like for that?
Well, I've simplified it. They call me and
Hmm.
we talk about what are you looking for? Not necessarily breed, but it could be that. But size, age, temperament. Do you want a hyper dog, to do activities with? Do you want a couch potato dog? Do you have
Hmm.
children in the house? Do you have other pets? And then I know the dogs that I have. So I had an adoption this morning, and the people came to look at one dog. And I said, this isn't quite the right dog for you because
Yeah.
you have family coming into your house on a regular basis, and this dog barks incessantly at any new person. I said, let me show you a different dog that won't do that. And then they're coming
Hmm.
back tomorrow to adopt her.
Oh, that's
So it's just
awesome.
finding the right fit, which is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure you have a lot of experience with that now, being as long as Go Rescue's been running and everything, which is great.
Yeah, it's been about
Yeah.
16 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
All
like,
together. That goes
yeah,
beyond losing the home.
yeah, definitely. What's like kind of the most important lesson you've kind of learned along the way? Is there anything, any sort of thing that stands out to you?
Well, there's a couple of things.
Hmm.
One is just if it's important to you, find a way.
Hmm.
Just don't stop.
Yeah.
I started the rescue when we lost our home. Never thought that I was going to have a facility that was state approved.
Yeah.
And came in, I got approved, and I even thought, why did she just approve me? Because I didn't know what I was doing. I just kept going, one foot in front of the other, and here it
Yeah.
is, all these years later, and then COVID hit. and then my personal life went to hell in a handbag. And but I thought one foot in front of the other. You know what? You know what's important to you? Giving the dogs a safe place to be, rescuing dogs, taking dogs
Mm.
in, getting them adopted out. So I just kept my eye on that, kept doing that, and then everything fell into place. Then the state vet came here and told me what I should be doing, or and that everything that I want to do, I could do out of residential property. So that gave me a direction,
Yeah.
and I'm going that direction, and it's becoming a reality. I put the key in my door for the first time just 2 days ago,
Amazing.
and really excited that it's actually
Yeah.
happened. The other thing that I've learned is, I wish people would realize that if they care about a mission, doesn't matter what it is, there's always something you can do. I
Yeah.
mean, most people do have $5 they could donate. And if you don't, you have an hour you can donate, or there's something you can do to help. There's always something you can do to help. If everybody that cared about our mission did just what they could to help out,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't be flipping furniture to keep the lights and water on. I think people think if they can't do some grand gesture that it doesn't matter, but it adds up.
Definitely.
Like you guys, even the people that are donating $1, it adds up when you've got 300 people donating what they can.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it does matter.
Yeah. Even just the smallest amount helps, you know?
It does.
Definitely. What's kind of in the future for Go Rescue? What are your plans?
Well, like I said, on a personal level, I have a house now,
Hmm.
and it has a separate detached garage type building, and we're building that into the rescue center.
Hmm.
So all of those things that you're really not supposed to do in a commercial building, the beds and the couches, I can do that there.
Hmm.
So I can still take the dogs that are near and dear to my heart, the ones that just need a place to be that's familiar to them, or to become familiar with a home type environment. And so we're still going, and we're
Yeah.
reconfiguring, but it's every time we move and we reconfigure the rescue, it's to go in a better direction. Because I
Definitely.
know now that the dogs that are near and dear to my heart, the ones I do the best with, are the ones that are fearful
Hmm.
or unsocialized. And
Yeah.
those are the ones that need a safe environment, not just somewhere to sit for a few months. They need a safe
Definitely.
environment where they can grow and become a good pet for somebody.
Hmm. Yeah. Awesome. I know you already post a lot of great videos and photos on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Everyone, if you aren't already following Go Rescue, definitely go check it out. Some very adorable photos and videos and just some really heartwarming stuff.
And there's some great stories out there. I've
Yeah,
taken some
definitely.
dogs that are just unbelievable that it even happened, but we've fixed them up, fixed whatever the problem is. We have some really great before and afters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us today. It's really awesome. Like I've watched interviews with you previously, and you're always just so passionate, and it's so nice to see that the dogs are getting so much love.
Yeah. Well, thank
Yeah,
you. I've recently had
absolutely.
somebody say, well, if you didn't do rescue, what would you do? And I really thought
Mhm.
about it. And I was like, that's not optional. That is what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
I am doing
exactly,
what I want to do. How do
exactly.
you how do you get to where you can walk in any animal control in the state and walk out with a dog that's going to be euthanized and then just not do that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's not in my nature. So I
hmm,
am doing what's important to me.
definitely. Well, thank you again so much for talking to us.
Thank
It was
you. It was very
lovely.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Awesome. But everyone, please stick around. We're going to go back to intermission, and we're going to keep
Sure.
raising funds for Go Rescue. I'll see you all
Thank
around.
you.
Bye.